Good morning, good morning. Good morning, guys. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. I'm wearing my scarf because I thought I had lost it forever, and I just found it, and I'm so excited. You ever think you lose something for a long time, and then, not for a long time, like forever, and then you finally find it? It's amazing. I don't know. It's the little things, guys. It's the little things. Okay, I'm going to share this video. Give me 1 second. I want to share it to my business pages. So, sorry, just move that for a second. Hold on. Good morning. If you guys are here, hold on. Please say hi. I'm just... What? Like, I'm trying to... There we go. Every time I put emojis in my title, it's really hard to copy them. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining, guys. Thanks for joining. Cool. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I love this topic today. It's about holding space, right? So I'll go into what that is. Let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Justine Luzzi. I am an intuitive coach. I'm a spiritual teacher, and I'm also, I do a lot of work around empaths and HSPs. So if you suspect that you may be an empath, let me know. I love talking about that stuff. Message me. Make some time on my calendar, which I'll drop the link in the comments. I am also intuitive empath, so I actually do different things like crystal healing and intuitive angel card reading. So if you're interested in any of that, let me know. So what I do and why I do all these things is because I'm trying to create a life of emotional freedom, and I believe that it's available to everyone. And this is why I do the work that I do, because a life of emotional freedom is freedom, right? There's no other word to say it, right? I know a lot of people out there suffer from depression, anxiety. I'm going through my own anxiety issues right now. But there are ways to alleviate it on a spiritual level. So I really, really deeply believe in spiritual healing. And speaking of healing, there's this topic I wanted to talk about today. It's called holding space. Now, a lot of people don't really, it's not literal, right? You're not holding space. What it is, and I made some notes, and I usually do because I feel like I'm a little scatterbrained, and I get so excited that I just want to, do some word vomits, and I usually do. But holding space, in my perspective, is and it's not even categorized as a period of time. It's literally the act of allowing for non-judgment and compassion to flow through. So that's my definition of holding space. So this is a very, how do I say it? I think I want to say revolutionary time for victims of abuse and sexual assault and sex crimes to be coming forward with their truth, right? And for me, that's a revolution, right? I think for me, I'm a big fan of the truth. I'm an intuitive coach. I believe in the truth of who you are, your higher self, which is the truth. And that's what I kind of do. I help, people figure out their truths. So it's really important to me, right? So I commend all of these women and these people, I should say people, because even men can be subjective to this, for coming out and sharing their stories and being brave enough to even be able to speak the words, right? And I think it's really a great step in healing. I really believe that the truth will set you free, right? And that just means, it's a little cliche, but that just means that the truth is healing, right? The truth is healing. So in a time like this, I know it's very easy to, because first of all, it can make people uncomfortable, right? So it could be very easy to dismiss people's feelings or people's truth based on straight being uncomfortable, right? Like they want to move on to another subject. They want to pretend like things like this aren't happening. And not enough people are holding space for the people that are in pain, right? Or have developed trauma. And honestly, I'm using what is happening with the revolution of, sex crimes and all those things, like the women of the, hashtag Me Too and all of that. I'm using them as an example, but this really goes for any trauma, right? And this is something that could be used on anyone, any trauma, any healing that really needs to be done. So holding space for somebody is just something that is what the world needs. We are too quick, in my opinion, to jump on down other people's throats and dismiss their trauma, right? Or the depth of their drama. I mean, the thing about Matt Damon just came out about these women, and he was kind of making a grade scale about the trauma. And you have to almost, and I'm not defending him at all, sometimes it's very, very easy to not realize the depth of their trauma because you haven't lived it, right? But his interview, in my opinion, and what he said was a little bit of lack of empathy, right? Because he's not able to put himself in his shoes. And not to say that that's a terrible thing, but that's kind of how empathy kind of starts, right? So, he was very quick to dismiss the depth of people's trauma, of these women's trauma. So that's, he didn't hold the space. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. And I've also seen people accusing people of lying or exaggerating or being dramatic. But the truth is that we actually don't have the right to tell people how they want to heal, how bad their trauma was. Like, who gives us the right? That's what I really am trying to convey here, is that we don't get to tell people the degree of their feelings, right? And I'm going to repeat that, because this is super important. We don't get to tell people the degree of how they feel. We are all here to be more compassionate human beings. And that's true. That's the truth. We want to talk about truth. So in order for us to do that, I think it's super important that holding space is a part of this conversation, and more of it needs to be done. And why is it so important? So I want to kind of go into why it's important. Sorry guys, I'm looking at my notes and I just want to make sure I get everything out because I wrote everything down this morning, and I think it's a super important topic that we don't really miss anything. So why is it important for people to hold space for other people when they reveal their truth? Number one, they feel heard. Do you understand how important that this is? Sometimes people most of the time, I would say, and I can speak in experience, most people keep their traumas in for many, many, many years, and the buildup can make you very, very sick, and that's true. So once somebody actually decides to speak their truth, it is so healing that the last thing that they need at that point is to be dismissed. Does that make sense? Because they are finally being heard after a long, long period of time. And the second thing of why it's important is because then they can feel understood, right? How many times has somebody revealed something and they have found like-minded people, not like-minded people, maybe like-minded people, but people that have gone through the same things as them? That's healing, guys. That's part of the healing. And the last thing they need is somebody to dismiss it. Does that make sense? And the third thing I just want to say is they are revealing their truth. Let's not forget that. I keep saying that, but they are revealing their truth, and that's freaking brave. And you need to give them that space, and you need to honor that space, that they are actually being truthful with what has happened to them, their feelings, everything mixed in there. So it's really, really important, and that's why we must hold space. Like I mentioned, we are here to be compassionate people, right? I'm not sitting here saying I'm perfect. It's something I work on heavily, right? We are all connected. The illusion is, and this is some of spiritual teaching coming in here, is the illusion is that we think that we're all separate, right? And that's from the ego, right? So the ego says, you know, I am a woman. I am a professional. Whatever you want to say. Ego is I. But we are all connected, which if you're really, really connected to your heart, these women that are coming out with all of this stuff can be really, really detrimental, and it affects me. It does. I do not have a traumatic sexual experience that happened to me of sexual harassment. I have actually not been through that in my life. Very grateful for that. But, you know, and it's actually pretty rare, which is sad. That's the sad part, right? But I do feel for these women, and it makes me sad, but it's actually like a global healing for global consciousness, because we need to wake up and see that this stuff is happening, right? So this is even good for us. This is good for humanity. So, for global consciousness. And, I just commend all of the people coming out and kind of talking about this. And if you don't know what to do to help, or if you feel powerless, what you can do, and the best thing that you can do, is hold the space. And that's it. It doesn't cost money. It doesn't cost time. It is healing that could be done by just about anybody. And it's something that could change the world as well. So hopefully that makes sense. I just want to make sure I went over everything. Yeah, I think that's it. I just want to leave with, remember, just because it didn't happen to you doesn't mean, yes, thanks, Juan, doesn't mean that it's not going to affect you. And a couple of other things. You don't get to decide how people tell their truth, and you don't get to decide the degree of how they feel. You don't get to decide that with anybody. And like I said, I'm using these women as an example, but with anybody, you don't get to decide how long it takes for them to heal. You don't get to decide how traumatic the situation was for them. You don't get to decide that. Who are you to decide that for someone else? Our feelings are our own, right? So just remember that. And they're all valid. You have a feeling for a reason, right? We all do. And it's really important to pay attention to them. So let me just close it with that, and I just wanted to make sure I got everything out. But next time you are about to dismiss somebody, even if it's a small feeling, please remember this video. Try to be more mindful of it, and I'm telling you, there will be an improvement in healing on a global scale, because it starts with us, right? It starts with the individual person. So, alrighty. So I am out of here, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye.